Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm the founder of StayAtHomeSuccess.net. And I'm here to share with you my top 5 best pieces of advice if you are thinking of going live on Poshmark for the first time. So stay tuned. So for those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Jess. Like I said, I'm the founder of StayAtHomeSuccess.net, and I help stay-at-home parents build side hustles while still juggling parenthood. I currently run 6 different side hustles, and while that sounds chaotic, I've honestly found a system that works for me, and I am trying to, help other stay-at-home parents out there because there is a lot of information and no information all at once. So I'm here to simplify that. But one of my side hustles is Poshmark. I started it back in 2023 in July. I really ramped it up these last 6 months. And about a month ago, I decided I'm going to go live for the first time and do a live show. So I started looking into it, and I found that there's really not a whole lot of information. Again, a lot of information, but no information all at the same time. So I put together my 5 best pieces of advice that I could offer somebody hosting or thinking of hosting their first live party. So here we go. For those of you that don't know, Poshmark does have 2 party options. One is a live, one is a silent. What's the difference? So a live party is where I am holding up the clothes, showing it, talking. You see me on camera. Some people just show the actual items. They don't have to be on camera. It's whatever your comfort level is. But that's what it is. It is a live, interactive. You're answering the comments in real time. People hear your voice. People can see your face if you choose to. But it is a live show. Think of like the live LuLaRoe parties that they used to have, on Facebook all day, every day, right? A couple years back. So that's what a live party is. A silent party is you take items from your closet. That's what, Poshmark calls their selection, is you take items from your closet and you put it in your tray. And a tray will display at the bottom of the party, and people can click on it and look to see what you're selling. So during the party, you would select the items and it goes up as an auction. That is something I did not know. I did not know that a party was auction style until I actually did one. And my first few were silent parties just to get a feel for how the party worked. So my biggest suggestion, if you're thinking about going live, do a silent party first. You get the feel for it. You figure out, the ins and outs of it a little bit. But you're not going to actually know until you're like in the throes of, doing this, right? So that's a little bit about that. The biggest thing really is like the prep work that you have to do is not a lot, but it is a lot. So basically what you need for a live show, you need some kind of camera. I use my smartphone. Some people also use their laptop. I've found that running a show with my phone and my laptop at the same time, I'm still ironing it out. I've only done 2 live shows. I actually have another one scheduled for tomorrow. But running them at the same time, while it can be a little confusing, is also super helpful, because if you're going to pull items from your closet, which you can add to your party in the middle of it if you're doing that. But if you're going to pull items from your closet and you're live on camera, you have to get like up close and personal to the camera. And sometimes those angles aren't very flattering. So I like to have my laptop next to me, easily accessible, so that I can see, it's easier for me to do it on a laptop than it is on my phone while I'm talking to my phone, while it's balancing on a stand. It's just a little bit easier for me. You do whatever works. But you need good lighting. So that can be, right now I'm using my my living room window for my lighting, but I also have like an actual light system that I use, and I can link all the stuff below in like the comment section of what I use so that you can just click onto it. I do get commission off of some of the items, but they're off of Amazon, like you can find them, right? So lighting, camera, you can use a mic depending on how far away you're standing from the computer, how much moving you're planning on doing. You can use mics. I did one show with a mic, one show without. It's hard to judge because we don't have, you can't like watch the live again. So I don't really have a whole lot of feedback on that. I am planning on recording my live so that I can kind of hear what I sound like and know whether the mic is good or not. But I do use mics for my other projects. So there's that. Some of the things that you will need are a rack, at least one clothing rack. You don't need to buy it. You could just have one around the house. Hangers, shipping boxes. You can get boxes off of the UPS website, the Priority Mail. You can get those for free and shipped to your house, or you can just go to the UPS store and pick out whatever you need. I like to wrap my sold items in tissue paper, and sometimes I do a little curling ribbon on that. Definitely need like markers or a writing utensil of some sort so that you can kind of label as you go, and your measuring tape. People will ask for measurements in the middle of the show, so you want to have that readily available. So as far as like the setup, hang the clothes. Like I don't have it right here, but like my station is currently set up in my daughter's room, where I sell all of the items, but it's just my rack, and I have it organized from kids clothing to women's clothing, and then I have it sorted by size. So if somebody were to say, hey, I'm looking for your mediums, your women's mediums, I know where they are. So that makes it a little bit easier instead of just like, oh, let me see. Oh, I don't know if I have a medium. Let me keep, and it wastes too much time. You want to make sure that you know exactly where your sizes are. If you need to label them, label them. I do see that some people use the little tags. I haven't used them really. I bought them with every intention to use them, and I haven't really found a need. So I do that. Have a lot of varieties. If I'm looking over here, it's because I made notes so that I stay on task. I am not very good at staying on task. But have a variety of styles, sizes. If you have a theme, like make sure you're sticking to the theme. I try to have, oh, phone's ringing. Hold on. I try to have at least 50 items, like on my rack. And then I have my like closet items readily available to grab and add them to the show if I need to. So you want to make sure that where you're doing the show is easily accessible to your inventory. So what I have been doing is I've been doing some unboxing videos where I've gotten new product in, and I have already created a graphic. I can show that, like I can show you how I set up my unboxed or unlisted inventory in a different video. But I will just pull the items, and they're not necessarily in my closet, but I will have somebody who's on the show who will go and visit my closet and say, hey, can you pull XYZ sweater? I would like to see it live on camera. Yeah, sure, no problem. And the first time I had my inventory in one room and the show was going on in another room, and I literally sprinted across my house. Not that it's very big, but I sprinted to try and get the inventory to show it on camera, right? So there's that. Have it readily available and on hand, at least close by, so that you can grab it quickly. The faster you are, the more sales you can get, right? Like I said, I try to have a variety of styles on hand and in the tray so that if somebody wants to just hop on and look through the tray real quick and say, hey, can you pull X, Y, and Z? Yeah, sure. Here's one, boom. Here's two, boom. Here's three, boom. You can run the auction for 15, 30, or 60 seconds. If I have less than 10 people on, I tend to just do the 15 seconds, especially if somebody is requesting an item to be seen. So I don't need to necessarily let it run for 30. I'll talk about the item for maybe 30 seconds before I'll run it, but I will just continuously run different items. So there's that. Like I mentioned before, people will ask you to pull items from your closet. You have to decide, like I do $5 unlisting shows. And if somebody asks me to pull something that I have in my closet for $50, I have to think, like, is that something that I don't mind selling for $5? Or would I really want to hold on to that item? Because sometimes people will get you. They'll ask you to put in an item that they know is way more expensive. And if you have your show set to $5 starts, it does not matter what the cost of the item is. It will only sell for $5 unless people get into a bidding war. I've only had a bidding war, I think, with 2 items. So just be cautious of that. If you're running a low start live show and you pull an item that is well above that price, you are selling that for the lowest cost possible. Just know that, okay? Because I didn't know that, and when I did that, I actually ended up losing money. It doesn't happen often. I've learned from my mistakes. That is why I want to make sure that everybody who's thinking about doing live shows knows this. As you're selling, have a space available where you can kind of stack or place like the clothing. So because I do unlisted items, that's been a bulk of my sales with my live shows. I have started pre-making boxes. I saw another Posher that did this, so that's kind of where I got this idea from. But I set up my boxes, and as soon as somebody buys something, I put that item and label, like I put it in the box, and then I label that box with that person's, like the first 3 or 4 letters of their screen name. That way, everything that person buys goes into the box. Poshmark does have a 5-pound limit on their shipping labels. So if you think that someone is going to be over the 5-pound mark, that is about 5 to 6 women's clothing items, that would bring you to about $5, 5 pounds of clothing. You have 2 options. Either you can take the cost of the shipping, and that's the charge. Or if you have an at-home scale, you can add, with your customer's permission, you can add a SKU number basically, and it will charge them the shipping. I haven't done that. I've just taken on the cost because the one person was like 0.5 ounces over, and I was like, I'll just pay for that myself. But I can look into that and get more information. Like I said, I've only done 2 live shows, and they've been awesome. So I'm still learning, but this is information that I wish I knew going into my first live shows. What's another one? Oh, giveaways. Okay. So if you're planning on doing giveaways, have a pre-made item in your closet, like a pictograph in your closet that you can pull. Now, I have one for giveaways. I have one, a like for notifications. I have one that says, make me an offer. When I do my $2, 2 for $10, whatever sale it runs. So if people start liking those items and you put them in your tray, every time you run it during a live, anybody that has liked the item will get notified. So I have my giveaway and my giveaway graphic, and every time I pull that into the tray, everyone gets notified. I'm pretty sure that anyone that follows you, if you do activate the giveaway, gets notified. You will have an influx of viewers into your page, which is good. You get more eyes. People have to be present in order to win. So people will generally stay on if you're running a giveaway. So that is when I like rapid fire show what I've got. Hey, what do you guys, what is everybody looking for? Oh, people are looking for mediums. Okay, let me run a couple mediums. Oh, you're looking for larges. Let me run a couple larges. Are you looking for kids' clothes? I got it. Let me pull a couple kids' clothes, right? So know that if somebody wins the giveaway and does not purchase anything, you still have to pay for the shipping on the giveaway. So you want to try to encourage, obviously, you want to have quality stuff that encourages people to purchase with you. So if you're having only like, I don't know, 5 or less people and they're just not interacting, I would even say like up to 10. If you have 10 or less, I would try to stay away from a giveaway, at least in the beginning, until you get really good. And if there's like people already buying, then like definitely throw in the giveaway, get more eyes on your stuff. It's going to give you a good judge on the pace of your show and like who's watching, right? Are people just watching because they want a giveaway? Do you actually have quality stuff that people are looking for? That sort of thing. So that's giveaways. I have lost money before because of giveaways. Like I said, somebody won the giveaway. They did not purchase anything from my closet, so I ended up having to pay the shipping. So while giveaways are great for getting eyes on your closet, there's also the downside to them. So only you can decide if that's worth it, like getting more eyes versus paying out. But if you're having like a really successful show and you're like, let's do a giveaway, I think that's amazing. Cautionary tale. There is one other thing, an option that you can select on your shows, and that is you can turn on the share feature. So what that does is it invites other poshers to submit items into your closet. That goes true for silent shows and it's true for live shows. So if you're doing a live show, I believe you can either invite, like these are the two options. I haven't done them on a live show. But you can either invite the person to show the items live. They would be like a co-host. So they can show the items live. Or it would run like pictures, the carousel pictures through while you're talking. Kind of like an overlay picture. So people can see the items and they be auctioned the same as you would just holding up the item. During silent shows, it would run the same as any other listing would. Please make sure that you check ahead of time what is on the reel. And I'm telling you this because this literally just happened. So I was doing a silent show. Silent shows I love to do, like just pop up and I'll have like whatever the theme is. I think the other days it was like $5 Fridays, which I'm starting to do more of. But I did $5 Fridays and I had the share feature on. So people were entering items that they wanted auctioned for $5. So I got this one person this one account that had entered their Meet the Posher. So for anybody that is already actively on Poshmark, you know they have like that one item in your closet that's like Meet the Posher, and it's your biography type thing, right? So this person submitted. So I'm like, oh, okay, they're fairly new. They didn't have anything else in their closet. I did not go through their pictures. I just saw the cover shot. So I was doing a silent show. I was folding laundry at the same time. And I put this person's share information. I'm like, hey, this is my girl. She just added her stuff to the show. Make sure to send her a follow. And it was it was going through the pictures of the Meet the Posher, and it was like 4 or 5 pictures, I think. It must have been at least 4 or 5 pictures, but it's cycling through. And I noticed in between one of my folds that this person is losing less and less clothing, which, hey, whatever, make money however you can. But by that point, I was like, oh, I need to move this party along. And hadn't even been the full 30 seconds. I literally just put them up for maybe, I don't know, 15 seconds. But I'm like noticing, like, okay, this is a weird Meet the Posher, whatever. So I just kept going and switched it. And I'm like, okay, I keep going with the party, and the person that I had shared was like, oh, thank you so much for sharing me. So I'm like, cool, this is, somebody is interacting. I love to interact during even my silent shows. I'm constantly typing stuff. So I'm like, oh, yeah, of course, I got you. And then they go, do you like my pictures with the tongue out emoji? I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you're gorgeous. I'm married and I'm running a business. So just kept the show going, right? So I thought that was really weird. So I ended the show maybe like 20 minutes later, and I'm like, that was such a weird interaction. So I go on this person's profile, and thank goodness it was obviously like a bot scam, whatever. But I'm like, what even was the pictures? And as I scroll, I became very acquainted with this person's nether region. So obviously I blocked the account, I reported it. Like, that's not okay, because as a mom, like, if my kid had come over and seen that on my phone, like, it's not right. Girl, you do you, but there's a time and a place, and that on my show was certainly not the time and place. Like, it was just, woo. Okay, so that is my cautionary tale. Please be careful when people ask to share, especially if they're sharing their, like, Meet the Posher or, like, this completely weird item that is worth more than they're auctioning it for, like, just to get the pictures to run through. Thank goodness I did not, like, live run their item, because I was doing 30 seconds per item, or I think it was 60 seconds per item. So her business would have been all up on everybody else's business. So there's that. Like I said, girl, get your money, just not on my page. But yeah, that is some of the things that I wish I knew before doing my first live show. And if you guys have any questions about how I've been doing them, how I've taken my Poshmark closet from like $30 a month to, I've almost quadrupled that at this point. But I make no guarantees, but I show you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I also, like I said, I run 6 other businesses, so I am always working, but I also am balancing that time with my family and figuring it out along the way. So if you're a busy stay-at-home parent, you're managing a side hustle, and you're just like, I can't figure this out, come check out my website. It's stayathomesuccess.net. Find me on Facebook, Jessica Murphy. Follow along. I will help you out as much as I can. But I'm always looking to build my tribe of entrepreneurs and stay-at-home parents. So I hope you found this video super helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to try and keep up with all this, like, all different tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. I think I said that already, but I will help you guys out. And until next time, have a great day.